Welcome to Magical Movement Company. I'm Carolyn. Montessori, of course, always wrote about the importance of movement in all the activities in the Montessori classroom. And movement, it just goes along with music. Children, the younger the more they move. It seems like music just, if you ever noticed a little baby, if there's some live music going on, you can see every little movement has to do with the music. And one of Montessori's biggest tenets is that the hand is connected to the mind. So we are going to definitely have a movement component in our music presentations to children. We're going to do a movement activity next. So everybody, let's stand up, and we're all on the edge of the rug. This movement activity has 4 motions. One of them is running. Do you think you can run in your spot? Like, use your strong muscles to stay in your spot, but move your legs like you're running. That's called running in place. Then part of the activity is swimming. Part of the activity is jumping like a frog, right? And part of the movement is holding our arms like wings of the bird. She's going to say flying like a bird. You actually might know this song. It's a Beethoven song. You might have heard it before. Okay, let's all get ready. In the spring, I like to run. In the summer, I like to swim. In the autumn, I like to jump. In the winter, I like to pretend like I'm flying up in the sky. In the spring, I like to run. In the summer, I like to swim. In the autumn, I like to jump. And in the winter, I like to pretend like I'm flying. Well done. Take your bow and sit back on the edge of the rug. However, I wanted to talk just a teeny bit about movement activities with children. They're excitable, and they are fun. You need to have fun. It is fun. And also, I know with my groups, sometimes I have as many as 36 little children in a circle, and they're used to being together, and they also are pretty nicely attuned to being in circle. However, movement, I usually clarify to the children at the very first music activity we have together, and I clarify it every time. Another thing about movement activity is have it in mind how you want to prepare the children. That's one of those control of error things. So when you're preparing the children, like I did in the little segment before, I told the children the different motions. And when I'm talking to the children about movement, I quickly give them an introduction to what we're doing. For example, there's a little part of this movement activity that we're going to be running. Do you think we're going to go running all around the classroom and all around the rug? That's usually not an option, so I'm assuming it's not an option. I still think it's okay because children can still move. I have plenty of children that move right next to each other and they enjoy it. You hear them laughing. Or if it's the first time, I'll say, we're not going to be able to go running all around the classroom and all around the rug. We're going to have to stay in our spots. However, show me your really strong leg muscles and that you can stay in your spot, but you can move your legs or you can move your feet, whatever it is, stomping. Lots of movement has to do with large motors, so they're going to be learning about it. You have to watch carefully during the movement aspects of your circle time. You don't want anybody to get hurt, of course, so I keep my eye open. You can also circulate. I try not to because I think it's better. They're used to focusing on me and they do watch what I'm doing. However, sometimes if somebody looks like they're not quite understanding or maybe they're they're pushing or something that might disturb the other children, then I might just go and stand by that, or move next to that person or between those two children. Movement is tricky, so you want to be prepared ahead of time for how you're going to present it to the children. You want to have done it yourself. You always want to be doing it with the children as well, showing them modeling, and that helps them understand. I also make sure that all the children are standing. I don't want any children sitting and some standing. Somebody could bump the person who's sitting. Every once in a while, children just don't want to stand for a movement activity. Most children love the movement activity, but if for some reason they don't want to stand up for the movement activity, then I ask them to move way away from the circle. If they're going to sit down, move back so that they don't get bumped. Most of the time, that makes them want to be in the circle and stand up with the other children. So this is just some of my circle management techniques, especially when it's something tricky like movement. I also, they get giggly, and I that's okay. I also do 1 minute movement activities. They're usually pretty, sometimes they go a little longer, but usually they're about a minute, and they're usually athletic enough that they don't need too much more of it. And I do the movement activity early in the lesson so that they do have a chance to, we're warming up our bodies is what we're doing. So I give that, early on so that they get a chance to really move and get their brain working, and that's kind of out of their system. And right after movement, they're usually ready to sit down, and that's a great time to do focused listening. So you'll see that in this next segment, I move from moving, and we all sit down. I have them take a bow before they sit down. That's my little routine. When I have the children bow at the end of the movement activity, I say that every time after every movement activity. It's a little cue that the movement activity is over, and then we all sit back down. And sometimes you might have, to spend a little bit of time, half a minute or so, just making sure that everybody's back settled down. Because the next segment is going to be more circle time oriented.